Hey folks, Coach Patrick here, Endurance Nation. Welcome to another weekly Coaches Chat. Tonight is December 22nd, the beginning of the holiday week. Hence the theme of tonight's talk, how to adjust your training for this holiday week. Before I begin, let me remind you that Endurance Nation is, in fact, the world's largest and fastest online triathlon team. I believe it's safe enough to say we are two-time Division I Ironman Tri-Club World Champions, which means that bona fide, no doubt, all in. We are the most active, most engaged triathlon team you will find on the long course triathlon circuit, with over 750 members across the US and beyond. In fact, today I spoke to people in Switzerland, Norway. I spoke to someone in Belgium and to someone in Ireland. It was quite a busy day today, and pretty awesome to have a team that's growing both here in the US and abroad. A huge swath of athletes and resources. And now is as good a time as any to come inside, create a free 7-day trial, explore the team, explore team coaching, and let us show you how we operate and help you make a good decision about your 2015 season. More than 8,000 athletes have come into the system and taken advantage of our training, and we'd love to help you as well. You take advantage of our race execution guidance. You also take advantage of our first time finish guarantee, where we absolutely cover your back. Make sure you cross that first finish line when you're inside the team here on Endurance Nation. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about the holidays. What is it about the holidays that just wreaks havoc, right? With your training, you finally have some momentum inside the team. You're all excited, whether you're about to start the out-season training or you've been in the out-season training program, and here you are hitting Christmas weekend. The small child part of you is so excited for Christmas, but the athlete, serious, type A personality is like, man, this couldn't come at a worse time. I'm totally on a streak right now. And so those two are kind of fighting it out on either shoulder. The holidays are sort of encapsulate a lot of things that are awesome about our world and our lives. And I hope that you, the listener here, the viewer, have the perspective to realize how awesome it is that you have stuff to do on your holiday, that you have gifts to give and people to see. There's a lot of people in our world who don't. And who are not as fortunate as you are. So while you might be a little bummed out about not being able to bring your trainer, riser block and sweat mat to your in-laws' house, upside is, you got in-laws and you got family and there's traditions and things like that. So all that mushy stuff aside, it is hard to train during the holiday season. And I want to step back for a second and take you out of the space of counting training stress points and all sorts of things about your training to give you some of the bigger picture. For me, the bigger picture is that holidays generally means travel. Travel means stress. And whether it's travel that you're making or travel that people around you are making, traveling, to you or you're going to them, either way, there's travel, there's stress, there's usually bad food decisions. There's probably some immune system issues, with fatigue and stress. Did I mention stress? And some bad food and late nights and dehydration from alternate beverage seeking and consumption. The net is that it's very easy for you to emerge from this period, not only not really having done the training you wanted, but being sick. To me as your coach, that's the double whammy. If you can't work out as much when you're on the road, that's fine. But what I don't want to have happen is that you come back and now you're sick. If you've missed a couple days on the road and now you're sick, we're talking about a 6-day, an 8-day, a 10-day block. And that punches a hole in the middle of the work that you've done so far. So we want to avoid that at all costs. So number one priority for us right now in the holiday season is just stay healthy. Just make decisions that keep you healthy. Okay, so step one, success, you emerge healthy from your winter break period. Okay, step number two, I want you to be recharged. I want you to be ready to come back and do some work. So case in point, I'm not going to be bringing my bike with me on my trip for the holiday, but I know that means when I come back, I'm going to be fired up to hit the bike again and see if I can push my numbers back to where they were and even higher. And I know that break is going to come in such a way that's going to allow me to rest my bike legs a bit, and then I can bring the pain, bring the work a little bit later. I'm looking at that as an opportunity for me in the future, not as a cost to me now, okay? So it's very important for you to kind of put that perspective. So I want you to mix things up a little bit and enjoy your training. Being outside of your normal routine is good for you. Our body responds to different training stimuluses. and you also sort of emotionally, from a sensory perspective as an athlete, benefit from being in new places and doing new things. So running in new places, exploring new gyms or pools or whatever you might do. So enjoy that experience and embrace it. Inside Endurance Nation, we do a holiday week run challenge. For those of you who have not seen it, it's on the dashboard. You can go ahead and sign up. And it's an 8-day challenge from Christmas Day all the way to New Year's Day. And you earn points for running, you earn points for consistency, running every day, you earn points for intensity, you even earn points if you run somewhere where it's insanely cold. If you don't feel like running and you live in Florida and you only run one day, I'm here to tell you, you're not going to earn a lot of points. You know what I'm saying? All right, so the run challenge is an opportunity for people to say, like, can't take my bike, pools are usually closed, what a pain, I'm just going to bring my run shoes, a couple pairs of clothes so I can bundle up if I need to, and I'm going to go out and run every day for some measure, and we'll turn what would otherwise have been a problem with your cycling and swimming, we're going to turn that into an opportunity to build some good run durability as well, and have some fun, some camaraderie with your teammates, share some stories, some pictures, maybe a little one-upsmanship, and perhaps push you to some new limits. And in the years past, we've had some people put up some serious miles, 10, 12, 14 miles a day for 8 days, which is pretty sick. So, enjoy it, explore it, take this opportunity and use it to your advantage. The flip side of that is what I don't want to have happen is that you take this vacation period and you make it great for you and bad for everybody else. What I don't want to see happen is that you're making decisions that mean, you want to go swimming for some reason and the pool's only open for swimming at a certain time. So now everybody in your family or whoever has to adjust your schedule. So you can go swimming at this special time. That's a big loss. Inside Endurance Nation, we talk about spousal approval units, and the number one thing we want to do, especially at this time of year when the value of time invested with your family and loved ones is so significant, that we want you to maximize your gains here, right? Okay, this is, to put it in athletic terms, this is like draft legal familial awesomeness. This is, if you hit it out of the park during the holiday season, you've quadrupled the benefits out of hitting it out of the park in any other week. Like showing up and being awesome in May, nobody really cares about May, unless it's a graduation or something like that. But hitting it out of the park, that Christmas to New Year's block, everybody loves that. Everybody thinks you're awesome. Look, Dad didn't bring his trainer. Look, Mom's not doing that crazy workout thing right now. She's actually hanging out with us. Wow. I think she likes us, right? This is all good time. So, use this as an opportunity to step back and kind of reflect on the stuff that you've been able to put together and, be smart about it. You can still get a good workout in. So what do I want you to do when I think about your training? Well, if you have a set training plan, what I recommend people do is take a look at the key workouts. Inside Endurance Nation, all of our workouts are color-coded for you to help you pick out the most important ones. And when we go moving forward over the week, do as many of those workouts as you can. In an ideal scenario, you hit most of them. You can always pick things up the next week. If we're talking about 5 days away from the bike, for example, in my case, that's a no-brainer. Just pick things up where you left off when you come back. Just keep on going. Don't just roll right through that week. If we're talking about 7 to 10 days of missed time, then I would probably say, let's put the plan on hold, full stop before you leave. Get the critical workouts done before you hit the road for this week. Let's say you're in week 5 right now. So the best you can through week 5 now. And when you do come back, we're going to pick up week 5 again at the beginning of that week and go forward. So that may mean that your training plan was set to end on April 1st. It may now end on April 14th. If you've got questions about that, obviously you can hit me up in the micro form. I'll be happy to answer them for you. But I do recommend that we plan on coming back like that, or at the very least, dialing back your expectations in that week when you do come back. Because there is a re-entry process, especially in the out-season training program when there's so much focus on intensity, and we're talking about 1%, 0.5% of effort as a gain. It takes a while for you to get back mentally to have the focus to be able to put that work into play. So there is a little bit of wiggle room there. If you are at an inflection point in your year where you're transitioning, etc., then now's the time to wrap things up before you head out. Get those critical workouts in. If this is a test week, get the test workouts done before you go. Anything else you get done during the week is just bonus time before you head on to that next subsequent week. In an ideal world, when we talk about running, I think running is the best option for travel in general, and for people as well during this holiday season. So, bring the run shoes. If you're a geek like me, go out and map out a bunch of routes. I'm on Strava. looking around the neighborhood for segments and routes that people run so I can find new places to run. So I'm excited for that. But look in that area, kind of map things out what you want to do, and then plan accordingly. Obviously, some days, like for example, if you observe Christmas, and Christmas is a big day for you with your family as a tradition, probably can't get a 2-hour run on a Christmas. That's just not going to fly. Could you maybe get 30 minutes in? I don't know. And so take a look at the time that you have, and then plan accordingly. The simplest way for people to do it, I recommend, if you're looking at that full 8-week block, 8-day block as a training cycle, then we want you to kind of chip away at it with something every day. I'd rather see 40 minutes a day every day than seeing you go 2 hours the first day and then everything else just kind of sticks, right? So I want that consistency. That 40 minutes a day adds up. An hour a day, it adds up. At the end of the day, across 7 days, it's 7 hours of running. I don't know about you, but I'm only running about 3 hours right now in a week. So doubling that in 1 week is a lot of running. So, be smart about it, be mindful of it, be safe out there running in, new terrain, new conditions, perhaps, etc. But, be mindful also of the decisions that you're making. And so one of the things that I recommend, especially for people who are beginners, if you're not content with having a baseline, 30, 40, 45-minute run that you do daily with some strides at the end, stay sharp, then you can alternate bigger, smaller days. You can go, 75 to 90 minutes in the first day, but the next day is just 30 minutes short, kind of shake the legs out. I don't want to call it a recovery run, but kind of shake the legs out, and then go back to a bigger run the next day. So we'll have sort of high-low days as we move across the program, where you're still running on those days, but we've got some form of active recovery. Okay. In many cases, the exercise is generally going to get you out of the house, help you stay sane, perhaps burn a few calories, kind of keep things rolling. If you sit there and talk to people long enough, 2 days starts to feel like 10 days, starts to feel like, whoa, get me out of here. So a little bit of break is good for everybody, not just you. Okay. And so I do recommend kind of that alternating procedure. Now, other couple things that I want to mention about the holidays and workouts. I mentioned the travel and the stress. I do want to say that on the days that you do travel, I really recommend that you don't work out. Unless you're leaving your house later in the day on the outbound side of your trip. And that trip you can work out in the morning and then go. But the next day is off. So if you're traveling on Tuesday, you can do your Tuesday morning workout. But Wednesday, when you land or get there, it's more than a couple hours, take Wednesday off. I'd much rather you sleep in, rest, go for a walk, do whatever you want to do to be active, but give your body a little bit of time to acclimate. If you're someone who loves, the X Games or sort of crazy sports like snowmobile flipping or whatever you might be into, just be safe. Speaking from experience, it's really a big downer when you've built some fitness and you're excited for your season, and then you mess it all up by doing something totally unrelated to your sport that was just a dumb bet or a silly mistake for something else. And especially this time of year, for many people, they're just getting into the winter. It's like the first time people will be skiing or snowboarding or snowmobiling or whatever you do, unless you happen to live up in Manitoba, like some of our members do. You haven't really even seen snow very much yet. And so you want to be smart and mindful as well in that scenario, okay? So I've talked a little bit about how to adjust things and how to manage things in the week. I fully expect that as people come out of the holiday break, they're going to have some more questions about their training. For now, I'm going to turn over to our chat room where we have Doug, Mariah, Mike. How are you guys doing? Great to see you guys. Love to see your guys' questions. Doug's giving me a hard time about Strava, says I'm excited to take all of the course records in someone else's territory. Yes, Mariah, I do enjoy chasing other people's KOMs. It's fun. It's motivational. I hate it when someone comes and does it to me in my town. That's for sure. But I think that's one of the neat things about Strava is that I know where my in-laws live and I know a bunch of routes around there. But Strava lets me see where other people run. It also lets me see where they think running, because they've created a segment that running is good or challenging or whatever. So that automatically puts me in a place where I'm going to have a good run up a hill or something else. So that kind of motivates me to go check things out. In fact, a couple of weeks ago when I was there for Thanksgiving, I totally nuked myself by chasing 3 separate segments across what ended up being a 13.5-mile run, which I was not ready for. And I felt it for like 5 days afterwards. So I have to be smart. I got to be mindful this time. But I'm excited for the run challenge. So for you guys have any questions related to your travel training and things like that, I'm always open for answering stuff. I'm answering plenty of them in the microforum this week and on my chats today, but would love to hear from you guys as well, what your travel plans are, and if you need any help adjusting. Those of you watching this later on in the recap, this chat for Enduro Station, we do it live with our team, so they're inside in a chat box. They can chat away, give me their questions, and I can answer them live, just like this, an opportunity for them to connect with a coach on a weekly basis, real live, right? Other things that I think about, especially as you head into this break, is very funny, right? Hey, look, no cracking jokes about cheetahs stealing my KOM, so I'm trying to talk. I would recommend, this is also a great time as you transition from one year to the next. People talk about resolutions, and we have lots of information about that up on the web now. But it's also a great time to transition, or at least take a look at a lot of your equipment. Now is a fantastic time to upgrade parts of your bike. Take a look at the drivetrain, the components, the chain tension, all sorts of things that you probably wouldn't really take care of until, I don't know, April or May, when the weather turns nicer or when the races get closer. Now's a great time to do it. In general, prices are far lower. The bike shop, not full of bikes looking for service right now. It's a great opportunity for you to kind of upgrade a couple of components or do something every month, or kind of chip away at what your project might be for next year, or at least even just map out a budget. It's kind of neat to, when you've got some time for reflection, to think about your year, but also think about all the stuff that you can do as well. So I do recommend that you do that. All right. Ooh, I see we got John Culberson here as well. Nice to see you, John. How's it going, Big John? All right, so Doug says, I've got the ability to take my bike with me, and I have some tough new zones to work out for my test last week, and I'm concerned if I miss a couple rides, it'll make it harder to adjust. Doug, and he wants to know, should he take his bike and ride, or should he just chill it and come back? Well, again, it goes to that duration of your trip, Doug. If you're going to miss 3 rides because you're going to be gone for the bulk of a week, that's not the end of the world. You'll get it back pretty quickly, and more often than not, you'll benefit from a little bit of rest with the cycling legs for sure. Those gains get harder and harder every week as you push the needle further and further. If you're planning on being gone for, if it's 10 days or something like that, then definitely you probably want to bring that trainer just to have even 2 sessions on it to kind of keep it rolling. But in my world, I would just run. I would take a look at this and be like, all right, I'm in the out season. In your case, did this great test. I've captured my fitness. I know I went from X to X plus, 25 watts or whatever it is. I'm gonna take a 7-day break, and to be clear, it's not like you're just lounging in a chair with an umbrella-laden drink as you stare at people walking by on the beach. You're going to be running, you're going to be exercising. So what a great opportunity to inject some run durability in your program and then come back. Within 2 sessions, I say if you come back, and let's say you're in week 10 and you got a Tuesday, Thursday ride in your out-season training plan, by the time you get to Saturday, you'll be much better. If you're just going to miss 2 rides, I wouldn't sweat it, brother. Just move on. It's like I said, the hardest, it's not that you're losing fitness per se, because you're still going to be active and it's such a short window for the bike. It's just that you lose what it means to stare at those numbers. Like there can be an argument can be made that a large part of the early gains in your out-season training program is just by virtue of being able to get better at looking at numbers and following those numbers and not looking away from those numbers, not getting distracted, not giving up, not settling, not compromising, and still pushing forward. And that ability does go away. You sort of have that doubt about yourself, like, can I do this? Can I not do that? And then kind of get a little bit of that back, but your fitness will be fine. And in fact, my guess is you'll actually enjoy a little bit of a run pop, especially on the durability side, and that you may actually see better gains on the far end of the out season. We may never know, but my guess is you may see better gains if you took a little bit of a break. I mean, the cost adds up. 3 tough rides a week. I'm in my 7th week right now, and it's tough, like hitting it again and again and again. It's just tough. And when the numbers go up, guess what? It just gets harder. So you want to be mindful about that as well. John, how are you doing? It's great to have you here tonight. We're curious to know if you've just returned um, to play in the run challenge and put the hurt on everybody else. John's definitely done some solid running over the years. And Mike, it's good to see you as well. Nice to see you guys joining in. So those of you who are joining us a little late, we just were discussing briefly what it means to adjust workouts and handle things for the holiday travel season. And in general, my goal is to keep you consistent and healthy, keep the stress levels low. Unless you're going to be missing more than 3 rides, I don't recommend taking that bike. Just pack the running shoes, participate in our running challenge, stay fit, stay active, return knowing you got a couple days to kind of reintegrate on the bike, but that you're recharged and you're ready to do it. Remember, taking that time now is like it's like making a small investment. It's really going to pay off come June, July, or August. And the people who are training, and there's quite a few people, I see them on Strava, just training out of their minds right now on the Christmas holiday. Those are the folks who just will have nothing to reach forward to. They're gonna, Phil Liggett's gonna tell them to get their suitcase of courage, and they're gonna say, I didn't pack anything inside of it. They're just gonna be able to have to dig deep. They won't be able to find it because they never took that time to recharge. Don't underestimate the value of changing venues, changing training stimuluses, just for even a brief period of time as an opportunity creation mechanism to gain even more fitness later. Okay. Good. I think you're going to enjoy the bike, Doug. You've seen some good gains, and I definitely see more gains coming. And it's hard, when you have those good numbers, part of you and part of me as well, you want to hold on to those numbers, right? You're like, I just earned this awesome number. Can I hit it again tomorrow? Is it for real? Or what happens if I don't do it today? Do I lose it? Right? That's not the case at all. Think of it this way. It's like you calling up, let's go back in time, Doug. We'll go back to junior high, and you're trying to ask someone to the fall prom, and you're like calling and leaving a message, and calling and leaving a message, and calling and waiting, and then it's someone else, you hang up and you're calling. All of that, just like you chasing that FTP, chasing that number, it just makes things worse. Sometimes you just need to hey, you know what? You made the call. You're just going to step back. You're just going to chill out a little bit, let things kind of settle in. Then you don't hear back, and you kind of go back, see what's going on. We're going to give it some time. And by time, I don't mean 15 seconds until the next time you make that phone call, right? So we can take 2 bike workouts off, go forward. That's right, folks. I just worked in a junior high school awkward fall festival dance invite moment to help you understand how best to make changes to your holiday training. But you're not going to find that anywhere else on the web. Awesome. So John says, running a steady 20 miles a week, the run challenge, trying to get durable. Awesome. Love it, John. Expect nothing less of you. Any real need to throw in anything other than some spin-ups or short intervals prior to jumping right into the January OS? Well, John, number one, we just want to make sure that the whole setup is ready to rock, right? You got your equipment, you got the tires, the setup with the fans and the trainer road and whatever else you're going to do. We want all that dialed in for you, right? The next step beyond that is making sure that you're ready to do some work. I'm not so much worried about intervals. I just want to make sure you've been on the bike. So if you've been off the bike for a couple of weeks just running, then yeah, if you've only been getting in 1 bike session a week, I might hit it once or twice if you're staying local, 30, 45 minutes. I wouldn't go hard per se, but I'd use different gears. I'd stand up for a little bit. I might do some lower RPM work after a good warm up. Just, kind of get the juices flowing and get used to it. There's a bunch of things that shake out on the bike, and you won't really know it until you actually get on the bike with intent to look at some numbers and see what happens. You'll say, you know what? Oh, I need extra towels. Oh, I need an extension cord. That fan, I don't like it over there when I'm this hot. I need the fan over there. All those sort of things, you want to suss those out now. So when the training comes, you are just locked and loaded and ready to rock. The intensity will come. So I'm not so worried about that. But you do want to be ready. Make sure your equipment's set up. You're ready to do the test and capture the test and all that good stuff. I look forward to following you in the run challenge as well, John. It'll be super fun. That'll be great. It's 9:28, folks. I'm almost close to becoming a pumpkin. Spent the better part of this evening making little marshmallow snowmen creatures for my daughter. She's in 3rd grade, for her winter festival, like end of year party thing. And so it's crazy mayhem downstairs. We had to make like 50 of these things, but they're 2 marshmallows connected by a pretzel stick with pretzel stick arms, and they got chocolate chip eyes and a nose and red hot buttons with a Hershey Kiss hat, all held together with frosting. Let me tell you, it was an awesome couple hours here this afternoon in the McCran household. So that was, I feel like Dr. Frankenstein, but without anything really useful to bring creatures to life. My wife and I need some time to just put our feet up and get the frosting off of our hands and just relax. Might even have a glass of wine or something like that. That might be nice. But I'd love to see if you guys have any other questions. And if I don't hit them tonight, obviously, you can always ask them in the microform. Those of you who are watching this later in the recap, or perhaps live on YouTube, obviously you can head over, if you're not on the team, to Facebook, facebook.com/Endurance Nation, or twitter.com/Team EN. You can also find us with the hashtag EN4Keys. That's capital E, capital N, the number 4 keys, or hashtag WorkWorks. I'll also follow that as well. I'm at P. McCran. You can also find us at Team EN, and we are there to answer your questions, get you spun up. The January out season is coming, as I mentioned earlier. Free 7-day trial. If you know someone, they can hook you up with a referral process. You get a free 30-day trial. Now's the best time to fire up your new year. We have half the team doing the November out season training program, half the team waiting to start in January. And for us, this is the critical training. It's not the 10 weeks to race day. Anyone can do that kind of work. This is the work that makes us stronger, smarter, more efficient as athletes, allows us to do reduced training hours across the rest of our year. The out-season training protocol created by Endurance Nation is the best way to get ready for your next season. So don't sit around thinking you got a couple more weeks before you get serious. Now's the time to lock and load, join the team, get in with the community, get plugged in with the coaches, get your season roadmap from Rich, get your welcome call from me. I'll do a 30-day check-in call with you as well. We'll get you dialed in on the website. You can access all the resources. Before you know it, you'll be talking Endurance Nation slang like a pro as you're raising your FTP, crushing your VDOT, and getting ready for swim camp in the rest of 2015. It's awesome. It's a great experience we have here inside. I'd love to have you be a part of it as well. For everyone else, thanks so much for tuning in tonight for a special holiday week edition of our weekly coaches chat, where I broke down how to adjust your training for the holiday travel. Best of luck with your holiday travel. Of course, for those of you on the team, I will be available over the course of the week, although intermittently. I look forward to being back in the new year. I'll see you guys in the new year as we kick off some really cool initiatives and hopefully make Endurance Nation even bigger, better, and cooler for you. Thanks again for everything this year. I hope you guys have a safe and wonderful holiday with your families. I look forward to catching up with you guys. 2015. Wow. Good God, I can't believe I just said that. See you guys.